Hey everyone, RogueGold here. Welcome back to the Division 2. It has been a couple of days since we did our last news roundup, and you know what that means? There is plenty more that has come out since. So today, I want to cover some updates following the release of Y8 Season 2.1 this week, a surprise dev stream that went down this morning, as well as some leaks surrounding the upcoming summer event, a new incursion, mysterious. We'll get into all of it, and as always, keep you up to date on the latest happenings in the Division. Timestamps are down below for each of the different topics we're going over. That said, if you enjoyed this one and you want to stay up to date on all things Division moving forward, then be sure to subscribe. Sending out a major shout out and thank you to our channel members as always. I could not do what I do without your support, so thank you so much for all of your ongoing contributions to the channel. But without further ado, let's get to it. To begin, yes, if you did not see, there was a developer stream hosted today, and I wanted to include this in here if for no other reason than to explain why there is no greater dev stream recap video out, and that's because there was not really any revelatory or new information shared in this. We had Leo, one of our comm devs, and George, who is senior content specialist on the game, to jump on. Their goal was just to play the game live and discuss and spotlight the Dead by Daylight collaboration. I will say it was really fun to have George on there. He's been with the team for a long time, came from a content creation background way back in the day with the Division 1, so hope we see him on more streams in the future. He's a super fun dude. But like I said, they more or less were there just to highlight the Dead by Daylight collab. They talked about the reasoning behind doing this crossover, and it was because Dead by Daylight is having their 10th anniversary. They shouted out and showcased some of the free and premium rewards. There were a select few mentions of external topics regarding the game throughout this, including the fact that they discussed some of the philosophy behind the changes made to the PvE DZ, like with how Y8 Season 2.1 made it so that hunter griefing could no longer really happen, as well as the decision to make loot piles private when within that zone. And then there were a couple of mentions of ongoing investigations into issues like with weapon audio. Leo emphasized the usage of the Division 2 bug reporter in cases like that or with any other bugs that you run into, as that gives them all of the relevant information needed to track prioritization to try and reproduce the issues in-house. So bookmark and use that tool if you have not. The link is down in the Division's link tree, which is in the description. But yeah, more or less, that was everything that came out of today's dev stream. Next up, as many of you are likely aware, Y8 Season 2.1 released yesterday, which kicked off the aforementioned Dead by Daylight collab, as well as tackled several other fixes and issues. We did do a video going over all of the patch notes for this update, in case you missed it and are curious. From my time playing it so far, it does seem as though things have gone over relatively smoothly. The desync issue in the PvE DZ seems to be dramatically improved, if not solved, at least on my platform and region. Let me know if you're seeing anything different, but that was great to see given that it was not mentioned in the patch notes. However, the main reason that I wanted to bring this up was to let you all know that compensation was delivered with this patch for the Delta crashes and instability issues that occurred toward the beginning of the season, and that was not something that was advertised in the patch notes that we covered back on Monday. The game put out this tweet stating that as compensation for the server stability issues over the past 2 weeks, all agents who log in by July 14th will receive 1 exotic cache and 1 optimization cache. Both caches will be delivered to the mailbox under special deliveries. If you attempted escalation between the start of the season and June 29th, you will also receive escalation tokens. The number granted will vary depending on your escalation activity during this period. So, bottom line is be sure to log in sometime within the next 2 weeks to get these free grants and check your stash to claim those. But then, as it stated, if you played Escalation between the season launch and June 29th, then be sure to look for the Escalation compensation cache in here as well. I seemingly got quite lucky and got 200 tokens from this, so again, very worth your time to go and claim. But compensation aside, I hope that everybody's Y8 Season 2.1 experience has been going well so far. Alright, our final topic is then what I would say is the most intriguing one of this video. Some of you may have heard about certain leaks in regard to the details and release dates of both the upcoming summer event and the incursion slated for this season. I've been receiving several questions about it. Now, if you've watched the channel for any length of time, you may know that we do not often cover leaked information or similar topics, especially when it sources from the data mine realm, just because we are dealing with work in progress information, stuff that clearly was not meant to be revealed yet. event. However, this time it's a little bit different. In the past few days, there was an article released by an official Ubisoft website which detailed the summer event premise, incursion details, and the proposed release dates for both. So again, this is a bit of a different situation. This came from an official Ubisoft source. And then in addition, there's already, I know, a ton of you out there who have seen this information. So on my end, it feels a little bit pointless to pretend it's not out there or otherwise avoid it. Do just keep in mind that any information not released by the actual official division channels is subject to change. So this information may not 100% pan out, but it seems pretty plausible. You'll see what I mean. This information was released in an article from Ubisoft China. The translations used here were automatically offered to me by my browser, so there may be some odd phrasing. It's also worth noting that since me first visiting this website and taking these screenshots, the information here has been scrubbed out of the article, so take from that what you will. But let's cover what was revealed. Talking about the summer event first, it says from July 21st to August 11th, the Division 2 summer event will take place, featuring kill squads composed of either the Rikers or the Purifiers, which translation I believe is the Cleaners, appearing in the district. So the most notable detail right away there, July 21st, that is just under 3 weeks from the day I'm posting this video, and this all sounds very believable to me. Rikers and Cleaners kill squads, very similar formats there to the Cherry Blossom event, like how we had the Ronin and the Kitsunibi. The details they then list say that there are 2 new named bosses, a brand new weather system covering sunny to mild weather as well as severe thunderstorms, new exclusive rewards, a Twitch Drops event, exclusive decorative items, community challenges, and it says this event has been optimized for team play. The boss spawn will no longer be affected by team size or threat level. So 2 pretty big details out of that. 1, it mentions a brand new weather system, and again, if this is true, that exactly aligns with our theories covered in a prior video based on Yannick's tease of this event, saying it would take us by storm. So I'm very excited to see what that may end up looking like. And then that last line gives us our first hint of feedback that may have been absorbed from the previous Cherry Blossom event, as it notes that team size now has no impact on boss spawns. That certainly wasn't the biggest point of feedback from that event, I would say, but it was still annoying that solo players were straight up less efficient compared to being in a team. So hopefully that is an indication that this event will have taken all prior inputs to be as good as it can be. Alright, there's then a quick additional detail here that notes that classified assignment number 2 for the season, called McMillian Reservoir Assault, is set to drop on July 21st alongside the summer event. This also would seem to indicate that Year 8 Season 3 may be planned to launch on September 1st, given that's when it says this mission will go through. Of course, classified assignments do not expire, though, so this is likely just some sort of weird translation. Let's then shift to the Incursion, though. That is the big ticket item for me. The main description of it here lists off everything that we already knew, including the fact that the Rikers will be the faction that we face and that a hurricane is actively approaching the Hydro Dam as we fight through it. But below that, it outlines all of the rewards that we can expect to see from this. That includes a new exotic ACR rifle. Now this lines up exactly with the mystery ACR that showed up in the expertise menu at the start of the season. We still have no further details for now on what it might be called, what its talent may be, but that all connects up. Then it says that there will be a mask for completing the Incursion flawlessly. This would be the exact same as we had back in Paradise Lost. And then an arm patch, dies, and a backpack charm. So that's all very cool, but this article also actually leaked the date of which this is supposed to be dropping. And again, keep in mind, this is not a next season thing. The Incursion is meant to drop sometime this current season. And if we look under the Twitch Drops category that they had here, this correctly lists the season launch in Dead by Daylight collab campaigns and their dates, just in case you were doubting the accuracy of this article so far. But beyond those, it then says we'll get a round for the summer event on the 21st. And then at the very bottom, it says Iron Creek Intrusion, which again, translation, but that's set to drop on August 11th. So this does all seem to line up. If you look at the scout calendar in-game, our final HVT, which subsequently unlocks the climax mission for the season, is set to drop that same day. And so come August 11th, it's very likely that we are going to get the climax mission for the season, its master variant, the underboss exotic SMG that is set to drop alongside that, as well as the Steel Creek Incursion and the exotic ACR that is coming with it. And that's very likely all going to be wrapped up within a Year 8 Season 2.3 patch. So that's going to be a huge content week if true. And so, alongside all of the other evidence and coincidences that we have here, this very much seems to be the game plan for the coming weeks. So, there you have it, everybody. That is all of the news to recap today between the dev stream and other notable topics alongside the release of Y8 Season 2.1 this week, as well as looking ahead at what we can expect for the summer event and the new Steel Creek Incursion. Again, I'm not one to often cover leaked information, as many of you may well know, but this did seem like a bit of a different situation, and hopefully with that information you can better plan for these coming weeks if you want to be around for when this content is dropping. Again, it's not confirmed until it's confirmed, but it does very much seem like that is going to be the plan. So yeah, get ready. It's going to be a very busy rest of the season, barreling towards Season 3, which apparently, allegedly, may be coming September 1st. There's a lot, folks, so stay tuned for more. In the meantime, though, as I said, let me know your thoughts on everything that we went over this video. Thank you all, though, for coming by and watching. Hope to catch you back soon, but until then, RogueGold. Ow. Oh! We just got a Ravenous! Haha! I might not be friendly.
Let's
go.
Coming to the Division 2.
Let's go!
And